Switcheroo!
Monster! Kill! Ha 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 ha!
Hi, what's good? This is dual chamber Harlowe or double barrel Harlowe. I'm gonna show you how I build her in order to use both the red and green action skills in the same build. You won't have to respec. All you gotta do is swap your action skill whenever you want. It's that simple. I remember this was a big aspect of like Borderlands 3's initial marketing, but in Borderlands 4 I've yet to see anyone advocate or promote the ability to swap action skills on the fly. I believe that's partly because most people assume you need the capstone of the skill you want to use to make it viable, but that shit don't apply to Harlowe. She's pretty busted. I mean, I have a no capstone build that works in UVH6. I let you swap between all three skills. She's busted. Honestly, the whole game's pretty imbalanced, but yeah. And the other reasons I might get into later. Honestly, I just don't want to talk too much shit right now. But anyway, the reason this works so well is because of how ridiculous Neutron Capture is. It's at the top of the tree, only costs 5 points to unlock, and it gives you insane damage potential. This build was much stronger before the changes to Neutron Capture, and back then I called it 5 points because all you needed were these 5 points to make literally any build viable. You just swapped over to your Chroma Accelerator and deleted everything. But after the changes, you need to utilize 5 more points into the skill Make Extraordinary over on the blue tree. And that's to that's to guarantee the crit on the Neutron Capture explosion to ensure we get that big damage buff. So since those two trees are covered with just 10 points, that lets us spend the rest of our cash down in the green tree. We can spec all the way down and get Group Study, you know, the trusty Halo sidekick, as well as picking up Excited State and Critical Funding. You should know about these two skills by now, because they go together like lamb and tuna fish. Or maybe you prefer spaghetti meatball?
I mean, if you don't like spaghetti and meatballs, why don't you get the hell out?
Hey, listen, I'll come down there and give you a crew cut, mister.
Yeah, these pair perfectly with Nuclear Winter and Group Study. Pretty sure that's common knowledge, but what I've yet to see anyone speak about is that they also work with Neutron Capture. So this huge damage buff that you're getting, it's also going to crit with every shot. And you're also going to be able to get that infinite ammo. So you can see how disgusting this build is. I mean, it's the best of both worlds, basically. Yeah, those 10 points, well, in conjunction with the green stuff, that's all you need to make Neutron Capture viable. It's still pretty ridiculous. And I'll speak on this later. I'll give some commentary towards the end, maybe. Yeah, I guess I'll break everything down. I assume you know how Neutron Capture works. Basically, any damage your Chroma does to any enemies, plural, 4% of that damage gets added to your gunshots. Now, I emphasize plural because I haven't seen it pointed out that it's often quicker and better to shoot your Chroma at a group of ads than it is to shoot it at a singular boss. Because not only are the mobs typically less resistant than the boss, they still take that full explosion damage despite having a smaller health pool. Most boss fights contain these groups of ads, and they often overlap with the boss themselves, so that's what you're looking for. That's the whole game plan with Chroma. More enemies means more damage, which means a bigger buff at the end. So the way I spec the green tree is 5 into momentum, which is whenever you entangle an enemy, which means using your action skill on them, you'll gain 25% increased critical hit damage for 12 seconds. Now this will always be active because any enemy you shoot will become entangled, thanks to Nuclear Winter and Neutron Decay. They both proc entanglement continually. Other skills do the same thing, but unfortunately the same can't be said for stuff in the blue tree. Yet another way the blue tree got shafted. Poor blue tree. Nah, I'm just kidding. You guys are fucking sleeping on this shit. Blue tree is sick. It's all I play basically. It's my fucking favorite way to play it. I'll post some shit about it too. Because the builds I have, they're true UVH6 viable. And they were damn sure UVH5 viable. You remember fucking, what's his name? Immortal Boneface? Dude, I used to fuck that dude up when he was glitched. But now he ain't shit. Anyway, getting distracted here. 5 into Neutron Decay for some extra gun damage. I proc this easy with Neutron Decay, Neutron Capture, as well as being outside of your group study bubble, which happens really often. So that'll be up most of the time. The next 5 points, I do like a 2-1-2 setup, 2 in a confirmative reality, which every time you shoot an entangled enemy, you reduce your action skill cooldown. Every enemy is entangled, so you're constantly reducing it, so you basically have 0 cooldown for your action skill. But the real bitchin' thing about this is it allows you to use whatever class mod you want. Physicist with like decoherence, Savant for extra like duration for your action skill, anything you want. It's pretty cool. 2 points in a creative overflow for 24% extra gun damage when you have overshield. You always have overshield, so you always have this active. 1 into Resonance Cascade for some extra action skill damage. It buffs Nuclear Winter, but you really want it for that Neutron Capture damage. You should be stacking this right before you pop your Neutron Capture. Alright, talked about Excited State, constant crits because your action skill is doing damage. Don't take Refraction, it sucks. Just skip that. The next 5 points, this lifesteal, 1 point in this lifesteal is perfect. It's more than enough. And then 4 into the shield, like regen, lifesteal, or whatever. This is really what's going to keep you alive, but also it's going to buff your guns. I like a 4-1, you can do 2-3, but all that matters is 5 points to get group study. These 2 skills, both of them are not very good. I don't know if this one works in conjunction with an amp shield, but it's just bad. The handling, you don't really care about the handling. What really matters is dumping 5 points to get critical funding unlocked. 3 points here is very comfortable. You shouldn't run out of ammo, but even if you do, it's not a big deal. And by the way, this can proc off of any critical hit, so like a melee, action skill, whatever. It doesn't have to be a gunshot. 5 into decoherence, it's a nice buff, but really like there's no alternative because you don't want this melee crap. And then your last point, I throw it in a latent charge for another instance of damage. It's 10%, it buffs your guns and your action skill. Sick. With overshield. Now theoretically, you can take 1 point for Make Extraordinary and dump it into like latent charge or feedback loop or even some more ammo. But if you do that, you only have like, I think it's an 84% chance to crit when this is fully stacked. I mean, if you like those odds, go for it. But the thing is, and I'll go over all this stuff in the other builds, but Make Extraordinary, it's kind of weird. It doesn't work just being spec'd into it. Like, you have to have stacks. But if you read the wording, says she gains critical hit chance with all skills. Like, to me, that's a unique statement, meaning it should work on its own. But it doesn't. You have to have at least 1 stack. I can't tell you how much testing I've done, how many chroma accelerators I've shot, and you will never crit unless you have a stack. If you want to test it yourself, make sure you remove that specialization that lets you crit, because this will skew your results. It'll give you some false positives. Anyway, alright, that's it for the skill trees. Guns and gear. Your typical guns for red and green trees. Wombo combo, Lucian's Flank for red. It shouldn't matter what element your wombo combo is, because after you pop your neutron, it's going to change to radiation anyway. I don't know if the game takes into account the original elements like resistances before it changes to radiation, but I haven't had any problems. I like to run 2 of these, 1 rad and whatever else for the other one, as long as it has higher stats. But you can substitute the radiation wombo for anything, honestly. You just want to get some stacks of resonance first before you explode your neutron capture. And then green tree, sweet embrace, dark beast, bod, anything. I mean, you know how green tree works. It's ridiculous. And sticky bod, man, this is a ridiculous gun. I don't know how this is in the game, to be honest. Everyone complained about the knife, but I think this is way worse. So the gear, dealer's choice, whatever you want. Honestly, the only thing I'd recommend is 3 points in Deadeye for some good damage, and then a crit knife. The crit knife allows you to not have to shoot chroma twice to build these stacks of Make Extraordinary. You can just crit with this and start entangling, but it's up to you. You don't have to. For those kills on Bloom, I mean, you might have already seen, but the war paint just for fire rate, I don't even think this one's that good. Throwing knife, like I said. Enhancements are a bitch to farm. There's too many variables. Thankfully, I found 2 good ones, and those are all I run. And shield, use the watts just for some extra damage. The amp is cool, so is the siphon, but it's not necessary. And then, like I said, any class mod you want. I was running the 5-point decoherence physicist with some shitty stats. I guess the action skill is pretty good. But for the green tree, I think I ran a trooper, this one, fire rate, and then split between some more fire rate and gun damage. But that was just to showcase this class mod. You don't have to use this. I just wanted to get a kill with it. That's pretty much it. And specializations, the shit's whack. I barely started using this before UVH6 dropped. Yeah, but this is the setup for red, bullet train, honed mine, I'm a gun, really you this. Ideally, you'd want this guy unlocked for the 30% extra damage since your shield's always going to be full. You'd swap to this for green. I had this unlocked just because I was testing some stuff with blue. But yeah, so when you swap your skill, you'd want to swap to this one. Probably give up this guy. And I think that's it. The setup works in the end game, you know, true UVH6, but even leveling up normally it's got you covered. It's fucking sick mixing it up on the fly. You get the best of both worlds with this build. And you can switch to whatever you want, whatever the situation calls for. Typically, I like to mob with the green, like drill sites. I'll mob with the green, and then when this bosses spawn, I'll swap to red just to freaking light them up. It's interesting, it keeps it fresh, because honestly, the green tree is so boring, dude. Just holding on the left click and AFKing. I don't know, that's not my playstyle. I don't like that. I just wanted to show, I wanted to show that you guys are basically cracking open walnuts with fucking dynamite with these builds. Like, you guys are pouring way too much damage. That's unnecessary. And at least I find that you can sacrifice, a fraction of a second off your kill time to have some more utility in your builds, make it a little more versatile. But that's just me. I know you guys are kind of following just one dude's build philosophy, so everyone's getting funneled into that mindset of, only caring about one-shot builds and achieving the highest DPS possible. But hopefully this gives some representation to the other side of the community, the ones that like to keep it interesting, mix it up with builds and stuff like that. It's a little bit different fun, I should say. And I know there's a tremendous amount of hostility towards that sentiment, especially on Reddit. Those guys like to shit on anyone that doesn't follow Moxie's guides to a T. But shoutouts to the people that still share their builds, despite being told to fuck off every time they post. But yeah, like I said, I hope this kind of exposes more people to the actual build crafting in this game, rather than just keeping everyone funneled into only using and suggesting their favorite content creators' builds. This build isn't particularly off meta, but it's kind of a foot in the door type of thing, So if you enjoy this type of build and found it interesting and a nice change of pace, I'm sure you'll trip out on some of my stasis builds, especially if you thought the blue tree was bad for bossing. I'll post some quick build breakdowns for the blue tree, and then I'll do an in-depth guide on my main setup later. I just want to get them out before certain parties try to change their tune about the blue tree, you feel me? But I don't want to get into all that right now. Anyway, thanks for watching, and I hope you got a kick out of this. I gotta rest up because I'm sick as a dog right now. Oh, and I'll post the breakdown of the Bloomreaper kills at the end here. So if you're interested in all the technical stuff and the cancels that I do, go check that out. But yeah, later.
I'll have some more anarchy, thank you.
I'll go over the bloom kills because there's some interesting stuff happening there. I kind of want to break it down a bit. They spawn in, you see it's true mode. I have 2 wombos. I swap to the better one after the chroma. And here I do 3 cancels. Cancel a knife into a rep kit, then a rep kit into an action skill. And then I cancel the action skill reactivation into a weapon swap. And that's where I swap to the better wombo. Because for some reason, during the chroma's second activation, you can instantly swap weapons. It's pretty sick. And I did these kind of slow so you can kind of discern what's going on and make it a little easier to follow. You have to do them that way for a setup like this. You can cancel them individually with different things, but that's the ideal setup here. It's kind of like a rock, paper, scissors thing. Now, after your setup, you shoot the chroma. You're going to be creating entangling, so you shoot with 1 wombo to get those stacks up of neutron and resonance. And then when the bomb hits the center, you shoot it directly at the dude, because the bomb will still hit the crystals on the outside, even though it's like inside of the Bloomreaper. But yeah, you have enough stacks, you blow it up, and it hits all the crystals, and it gives you all that neutron decay damage. And then from there, you just light up the crystals, destroy those stupid orbs. Those things are annoying because they phase into the boss, and sometimes they disappear. But yeah, you pick a side, you jump down. Hopefully, it jumps to the same one you're on. But you jump down, all the creeps will swarm you. Hopefully, you get a bunch. You just keep your stacks going, you build them up, and then when he's about to jump down, you shoot your chroma. Hopefully, he jumps down and you hit him. He didn't for me, so I didn't get as much damage. But again, you want as many enemies hit with that chroma to buff your damage. Then you light them up.
Oh, I am gonna slap the bitch out of you.
I didn't get that many, so like I said, not that much damage. But I like to shoot the eye out too because it feels like you get more damage. And then you just shoot your chroma whenever you need to. Typically, you only do it once, but with this run, I had to do it like 2, maybe 3 times, yeah. And then when he goes invincible, you can hop up to the top almost immediately. This is kind of just visual. Those thorns disappear right away. When you're up top, same thing. All the creeps will swarm you pretty fast, more so up here. And then he jumps up top really quickly as well. You don't have to chase him. The same thing. Get your stacks going. Boom. Look at that damage. It's a little bit better, right? Yeah, much better. You should be canceling too, but whatever. Yeah, that was the red tree. So just swap over to the green stuff, swap your skill, and your class mods and stuff if you want. I forgot like the stuff I wanted to use, so it took a couple tries to get things going. Yeah, there's more cancels you can do, but I'll show them off when I go over the blue tree builds, because there's stuff you do there. Alright, let's get the next run going. Fuck these chests. I'm just kidding, that hurt, dude, because I need fucking enhancements in the class mods, but whatever, it's all good. For the gram, right? For the gram. Yeah, so same thing with this, just get set up, throw your flux out. You don't have to knife the crystal, but throw a knife to get your trooper going. And I forgot to use the kickballer. That's what I wanted to use, so this could have been faster, but I mean, it's not that big of a deal. You just melt stuff anyway. Kill him, jump down. Hopefully your flux is on cooldown, so you can shoot creeps to get it back. That nuclear winter passive, you still have it after your action skill ends, so all your shots will be critting for a good while after. So boom, it's off cooldown. Wait a little bit, wait for the thorns, and then pop it. Hopefully it jumps down. I think I get lucky, yeah. And then just light them up. Get your trooper going, throw an ordnance. Shoot the eye. I like to shoot the eye. You don't have to. And then again, you should be canceling your rep kits with your action skill and all that good stuff. Pretty straightforward. Light them up. And if you're reloading, you should throw an ordnance, because that'll play through your reload animation will play in the background of your ordnance animation. So by the time you're done throwing whatever, you're gonna be reloaded. You can't do this with most weapons. I'm sorry, you can't do this with an action skill with most weapons. There's certain ones you can do, but again, I'll go over that in the blue tree. So when he's immune here, just almost one up top because I thought I was doing red. But you just stand here and you tank, shoot creeps to heal up, and just wait for him to be vulnerable again. You can throw a knife while he's invulnerable. It still applies the debuff, so it's ready to go as soon as he can take damage. And boom, there you go, back-to-back plats. Simple as that. I don't even think I changed my specialization points. Easy, easy.